Our third and final selection in today's episode sees 4th place Manchester City playing host to 13th place Manchester United. And Manchester City's defensive frailty reared its ugly head once again in their last match against Crystal Palace. The citizens fell behind to Palace just after 4 minutes thanks to Muñoz's strike, and despite Erling Haaland returning the game to an even footing at the interval, they found themselves behind it early in the second half as well, and they couldn't salvage more than a draw after Rico Lewis levelled before being sent off. Stat-wise, the game does look even. Manchester City took more of the ball as one might expect, but they failed to use their possession to really hurt Crystal Palace. They created a similar amount of efforts on goal and a similar amount of XG, so perhaps a draw was the fairest result. In terms of form, this means that City's poor run is continuing. Despite a win against Forest in the last game week, they are winless in 4 of their last 5 Premier League matches and winless in 7 of their last 8 across all competitions. They play a Manchester United side who were bested in their last game against Nottingham Forest. Forest came out firing and put the Red Devils behind after just 2 minutes. Højlund did stem the tide with an equaliser, but 2 second-half goals saw United go 3-1 down, and the game was almost over as a contest. Bruno Fernandes did manage to salvage one back, but Forest held on to win on the road by 3-2. In terms of form, this does mean it's back-to-back losses for the Red Devils, and it's not all sunshine and rainbows with their new manager. When we look at the head-to-head records, City came out on top in the last meeting between these two sides, winning the curtain raiser match in the FA Community Shield on penalties. Before this, Manchester United had picked up a win in the FA Cup final by 2-1, and this 2-game sample paints a pretty even picture. However, if we look a little bit longer, City won each of the 3 before the FA Cup match, making it 4 wins in 5 against their crosstown rival. My prediction for today's game is that this is going to be a really fun match to watch, and the Manchester Derby is often the most entertaining game of any game week. Manchester City is still wobbling with their poor recent form, and if they go behind first, perhaps they will capitulate again. This really will encourage Manchester United, and we could see more of a 50-50 game transpire here. As a consequence, I think we're going to get goals. Man City have seen over 2.5 goals in 5 of their last 6 Premier League games, and in 7 of their last 8 matches across all competitions. Whereas the visitors, Manchester United, have seen over 2.5 goals in 3 of their last 5 Premier League games, and in 4 of their last 6 across all competitions. When we look at the head-to-head record, each of the last 5 Premier League games and 7 of the last 8 encounters saw over 2.5 goals. For all these reasons, I'm going to back over 2.5 goals for a full stake in the final bet of today's episode.